Hello, my name is Kiki Eliva, and before we start, have you ever seen any of these videos on your social media platforms? If you're an active social media user, it is highly likely that you have encountered these ice water dumping videos, or similar ones at least a couple of times on different platforms. Or maybe you have a similar video of your own and you happen to have been a part of this, because the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge is one of the most viral internet campaigns back in 2014 that was created in support for people suffering from amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS. I will start with the root cause of the Ice Bucket Challenge, ALS. It is a rare disease that involves the cerebral and spinal cord motor neurons, causing a person to lose any of their voluntary muscle actions. In most cases, the consequences of ALS include respiratory and malnutrition failures, which makes the disease considered fatal after 3 to 5 years of diagnosis. The roots of the ALS are not entirely identified by scientists, therefore there is no known medicine to cure the sufferers. As can be seen in the picture, the damaged nerve cell does not allow the muscles to contract, therefore paralyzing when affected. Here is what the life of people with ALS look like. Most of them use special technology to travel around and communicate due to the complete loss of movement and speech. Moving next into the challenge itself, the history of the challenge starts with the pro golfer Chris Kennedy in the summer of 2014. According to Slate magazine, Chris Kennedy establishes the so-called cold water challenge, which originated in Norway, that involved donating money to a charity of choice or jumping into cold water. He comes up with an activity of dumping ice-cold water on himself to challenge his wife's cousin Jeanette Senerchia, whose husband Anthony was diagnosed with ALS. Jeanette soon accepts the challenge and posts her own video of taking an ice bath on Facebook, spreading it to the New York City and reaching ice hockey player Pat Quinn, living with ALS. Quinn then challenges his friend Pete Freitas in Boston, a former captain of the Boston College baseball team, also diagnosed with ALS. So here's the video compilation of the first Ice Bucket Challenge chain that started it all.
$100 to the ALS Foundation. Here we go. Good luck, guys.
Let's do this.
As the challenge spreads around Boston, Ice Bucket Challenge shapes into its final form that consists of nominating people through video posts on social media to challenge either to donate money for ALS or get drenched from a bucket of ice water, or both. According to Washington Post, the same summer local challenges in Boston, Los Angeles, and New York aired on TV, raising around $50,000 and appearing on popular TV shows like The Tonight Show or Jimmy Kimmel Show. Social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter become flooded with videos of people dumping ice water on their heads. And according to the US ALS Foundation, the celebrities like Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, David Spade, Leonardo DiCaprio, and many more influencers, they all accepted the challenge and donated thousands of dollars to the ALS Association Fund. The Ice Bucket Challenge became so viral that the ALS Association claimed a total of $220 million being raised in the period of summer 2014 globally. One of the significances of the Ice Bucket Challenge is that it helped to educate and inform people about the ALS disease, which earlier was not really much talked about. One piece of evidence of increased awareness of ALS is talked about in the New York Times article Ice Bucket Challenge has raised millions for ALS Association by Emily Steele. It points out that public awareness of the disease before the challenge was fairly minimal compared to 1.2 million videos on Facebook and 2.2 million mentions on Twitter in the period between June 1st and August 17 in 2014. Now, let's take a look at the infographic. It's provided by Niall McCarthy in his article, Ice Bucket Challenge, ALS Wikipedia page views increases 18-fold. As we can see, it compares the ALS Wikipedia page views in 2013 and 2014 in countries like England, Germany, Spain, and others. We can see that between January 2013 and July 2014, the ALS Wikipedia page had an average of 163,300 monthly views on English Wikipedia. In August 2014, the same page was viewed an incredible 2.89 million times, which is an 18-fold increase. We can see the German Wikipedia and Spanish Wikipedia entries recorded 13 and 14-fold increases, respectively. Boston Globe's article mentions that the ALS Challenge generated more than 70,000 tweets per day with hashtags such as #IceBucketChallenge, #ALS IceBucketChallenge, and #StrikeoutALS. ALS Association has also mentioned that since the challenge started, the number of committed volunteers increased, and that increased the accessibility of services and care for ALS people as well. The raised awareness about ALS that was caused by Ice Bucket Challenge brings us to the next significant impact of this viral phenomenon, which is increased donations raised in support of the ALS medical research and patient care. According to New York Times, an Ice Bucket Challenge donations for ALS research top $41 million, ALS Association received $41.8 million in donations from more than 739,000 new donors from July 29 until August 21 of 2014, which is double what the association received during the yearly period of 2013. As was mentioned earlier, by the end of the summer of 2014, the overall donations topped $220 million. And on this note, the ALS Association in its blog post on finances has pointed out that the money Ice Bucket Challenge helped to raise had a direct impact on worldwide research collaborations and increased the support of treatment centers by more than 600% on an annual basis when compared to spending levels prior. According to the same blog post, the donations helped to fund over 162 research projects in the United States and across borders. The Ice Bucket Challenge, however, appeared not to be just a short-term trend and had long-lasting effects well after the summer of 2014. In September 2022, the ALS Foundation announced the FDA approval of a new treatment for people living with the amyotrophic lateral sclerosis under the name of AMX0035 or Relyvrio. This treatment, according to drug manufacturing company Amylyx Pharmaceuticals, while not the cure, slows the loss of physical functions of ALS patients. To emphasize the Ice Bucket Challenge's role in the discovery, the president and the CEO of the ALS Association, Calinab Bolas, have commented, "The approval of AMX0035 is further proof of how the Ice Bucket Challenge dramatically accelerated the fight against ALS. Since then, we've seen the new genes discovered, new assistive technology developed to help people living with ALS, and far more people living with ALS have access to care services than ever before," according to an ALS Association press release on the new drug approval. Another lasting effect of Ice Bucket Challenge is an annual project every August until cure that was imposed by the ALS Association, and it encouraged all the new participants of the challenge to complete the ritual and donate money until ALS is cured. Following this project, according to Boston.com, in 2017, Governor Charles Baker of Massachusetts signed a bill marking the first week of the August Ice Bucket Challenge Week to commemorate not only the viral fundraising, but especially its co-founder Pete Freitas. Here's the video from one of the annual Ice Bucket Challenges that took place here in Boston at Massachusetts State House.
And I don't know what the record is, but we got 300 people here today, some wearing suit coats, whoa, who are here today to show our solidarity and our support for Pete and his family and everybody else who's dealing with this dreaded disease. And as soon as we finish doing this, the challenge is on to Boston Mayor Marty Walsh and Rhode Island Governor Gina Raimondo. Bring it on down and let it go, guys. 1, 2, 3.
So what does Ice Bucket Challenge reveal about the media and people's relationship with media? The Ice Bucket Challenge would not be possible without people utilizing the interactive approach to media rather than consuming it passively. In its first so-called Web 1.0 phase, the internet was mostly passive, mostly limited to users observing rather than engaging. So Web 2.0 is rather a modern stance of the internet, defined by its user-generated content and means of providing interconnectedness among the users. Therefore, it is fair to say that the Ice Bucket Challenge is a product of Web 2.0 social media tools that allow people all over the globe to find the interconnecting cause. And in this case, the interconnecting cause is ALS disease awareness and cure, as well as the creation and sharing ideas and content like the participants' ice water dumping videos or ALS Association's public service announcements with each other. To emphasize the success of the Ice Bucket Challenge being determined by people effectively utilizing media as a space for the community to share interests, ideas, and feelings across borders, Kyle Chapman in his work, Digital Activism, How Social Media Prevalence Has Impacted Modern Activism, argues. Social media is not hindered by geographical, linguistic, legal, or political boundaries. Therefore, its users are capable of creating dialogues regarding all manner of social, economic, ethical, cultural, racial, gender, and political inequalities with members of previously unreachable communities. Another reason Ice Bucket Challenge has taken over social media platforms is the concept of social proof when people conform to the actions of others in a belief that their behavior is correct due to its popularity. It is also known as herd behavior, meaning that people feel safe when they are going within the flow of the crowd rather than go against it. In her article, What Can We Learn from Ice Bucket Challenge Data, Beth Cantor calls the social proof peer pressure in a positive way, and therefore the Ice Bucket Challenge was able to reach a broader mass as an act of conformity, or matching the group norms at a particular time frame. With the number of actors, singers, politicians, sport figures, and even friends and family, colleagues doing the challenge of Ice Bucket, it was hard for people to resist not to join the others in this activity, which was broadly received righteous by many. In conclusion, the Ice Bucket Challenge is a viral social media trend that hit in the summer of 2014 to support people with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, a rare disease. The activity of the challenge involved pouring a bucket of ice water over one's head or donating to ALS charity, or both, and then nominating someone else to keep the chain going. The Ice Bucket Challenge played a great role in raising awareness, fundraising millions of dollars, and conducting extensive research for ALS. Furthermore, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge opened a greater path for scientists to potentially find the cure for ALS. The Ice Bucket Challenge, however, would not be possible without the Web 2.0 social media tools that allow people to connect and share ideas in online communities, uniting over the one cause to fight against ALS. The challenge most likely became successful among a broader mass due to people's need to feel their behaviors are within the group ideals and group norms, making them feel safer performing the popularized activity of dumping water buckets on themselves and announcing donating thereafter. I would like to conclude with a quote by Pete Frates, one of the first people to start Ice Bucket Challenge, and the legacy behind it. He's the core founder and he's from Boston. Pete passed away in 2019, and shortly before that he has given an interview to ALS Association using a special technology that allowed him to speak. So I think this quote really emphasizes how the Ice Bucket Challenge has really demonstrated the power of media in advocating for a common cause and set an example of how effectively viral media can reach the masses and convey the message across borders.
Thing I always tell people is to Google 3 little letters, ALS, learn how much it can devastate the mind, body and soul. Frankly, it's just awful, but there is hope because of the Ice Bucket Challenge. So I thank you for the continued support. Let's strike out ALS. Sincerely, Uncle Pete.